And now we're also joined by Will Power, driver of car number 12, Verizon Team Penske Chevrolet, qualified second today. 1 minute 6.9421 seconds. Will, I believe you qualify first or second here every year except for one. Talk about your performance here today.
Yeah, it was good, you know. Got through every round and get to start in the front row. That's, you know, need to have some good finishes here to have a shot of being in the championship at the end. So yeah, it's you know, Penske's definitely got their stuff together, and Simon did a mega lap there. It was an awesome lap. Put it all together. Do that on used reds is very good.
All right, let's open up for questions. Bruce?
Joseph, I know you were asked this before, but this is the first time in your career that you've been able to come to a racetrack where you are the defending winner. How does it feel when you walk into a place that you've already conquered?
Well, I mean, it feels good, you know. It felt really good last year winning the race. It's, you know, I think it's a special place now for me. You know, just I've always loved this track, but I love it so much more now because it's the first place I got my, you know, I got my first win here, so it's very special. But I think everyone just assumes you're going to go back and like do the same thing, and that's you know, that's been kind of hard to manage over the weekend. Not hard, but just it's funny because everyone's like, hey, you're going to do that again, right? You're going to win the race because you won last year, and I'm like, well, it's not really how it works. You know, it changes every year, and things are different, and you always got to try and be catching up. I mean, all the teams are evolving all the time, and same with the drivers. So, you know, we've been doing our best to try and keep up with the changes this year and everything that's been going on. And, you know, the qualifying did a pretty good job. I was, you know, just really proud of everyone. I mean, we hit on it right where we needed to. So I feel a lot more confident now going into tomorrow that we can try and repeat a win.
And it seems like the guy to your right has been a constant companion for you the last few years.
Yeah, Rahal looked pretty good there at the end of that race, didn't he? All race. So, yeah, we'll have to watch out for him. I think, you know, I don't know who's going to be the best tomorrow on, you know, tires and fuel and trying to, you know, make it happen all race long, but I guarantee you he'll be there.
And with that, let's introduce Graham Rahal, driver of car number 15, Rahal Letterman Landing and Racing Honda. Bless you, Will. Graham qualified sixth today with a lap of 107.6388, his best qualifying effort of the season so far. Yeah. Graham, talk about your day.
Yeah, I think we had a good run there. Pleasantly surprised with the pace. You know, obviously we've been close in practice and stuff, but this morning we didn't get to run a set of stickers at all. So I was telling Joseph at the autograph session, like I had no clue what to expect, which way the car was going to go. Obviously, I know what it typically does, but no, it kind of worked out. You know, I mean, the car was good on reds. You know, we snuck through that first group, and then, you know, didn't quite hit it on the first round. Didn't get the reds, you know, to max of their capability, and then finally, second round we did. But that was about as good of a lap as I think is. I mean, there was definitely nowhere else for me to find time. So I knew in group or in round 3 we were going to have to put some magic together to be up front. But, you know, these guys are all these great competitors up front, and, you know, we're top Honda. Obviously, we'd like to be the top of everything, but we're going to keep working hard and try to harass these boys tomorrow in the race.
All right, let's open it up for questions for any of these gentlemen. Let's go start with Lewis.
You've earned a dessert tonight. Will, obviously everybody on Team Penske has different driving style, different engineers, but what do you think of Montoya's lap and where he's starting?
I have no idea where he's starting. And
Last.
Oh, last. Yeah, he's definitely he's a different driving style that I've seen of anyone actually, but it's really impressive in some places. Obviously, he didn't get the setup right here, but yeah, everyone. Yeah, it's amazing in our team the different setups and the eventual similar lap times. So yeah, it's you know, it just shows how competitive this series is. You know, you got so many different driving styles and drivers, and it's all covered by, you know, whole field covered by a second.
More questions? Let's go back to Bruce. Of course, the other side of the room.
We got to bring Bruce.
He should just have his own mic.
Graham.
Yes, sir.
James seemed to be a little unhappy that he didn't get into the Fast Six, and when I asked him about if it's a more even field, he said 3 Hondas in the top 12, so it doesn't appear that way, but you're one of the 3. Do you still see a little bit of a disparity in the competitive field for tomorrow? It seems like you've got a pretty good setup.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, it's really, really hard to tell. I think it seems like right now we're struggling for a little bit of horsepower, and you know, perhaps to match their lap times, you're definitely, everybody up here is wringing its neck, right? But it just seems like you're taking risks that are kind of crazy to try to get close. Now, I mean, I'm sure James isn't pleased, you know, that he's not in the top 6, because unfortunately it's become like a war of who's the fastest Honda guy, and it feels pretty good to go home as the fastest, you know. So it's kind of become that sort of battle a little bit, sadly. But look, I mean, like I said, I have that lap I did in round 2. I know for a fact, like, I don't think I could have done better than that, and we were still 0.2 off or 1.5 off of whoever was fastest. So is there maybe a little bit that we're lacking? Yes, but I'm not so sure like that it's aerodynamically. I think we'll be pretty good tomorrow. And then, you know, if we can find a way to keep the rear tires under us better than the rest or whatever, kind of like last year, I think we'll be looking good. But you know, as I said last year, I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses or anything. I mean, we feel like we can compete, and we're going to give it our all no matter what we're driving. I don't think it's drag. Look, it's really, I mean, ask any of these guys. It's so hard to tell, right? Like, really, it's hard to tell. So, you know, I think if you can find a really good balance, you can find 1/10 of a second, you know, and maybe that helps a little bit. But it's tight. It's tight. I mean, name one field in motorsports in the entire world that's this competitive, and you can't do it. You can't. So, as Will said, you know, you slip a little bit. Doesn't matter what manufacturer you're in, you're going to be at the back. So
We'll go right back here.
Questions for Will. After today, how much more comfortable do you feel? Anything you learned from today?
What we learned today?
Yeah. And how comfortable do you feel after today with this track?
Oh yeah, it's amazing with the amount of downforce we have now. You know how many of the corners are such. It's about bravery, you know. Like, you really got to be committed. I think it'll be a different story in the race. I think tires will degrade, and you know, it might be about tire conservation, and you know, hope it's a good race. It has been the last few years, but yeah, feel comfortable.
Let's go to Tony right here.
For anyone, did the new format change kind of approach today? The fact that it was only a 6-minute Q3 rather than the standard, or had been 10 with 5 guaranteed? Joseph?
I mean, you know what's hilarious? I totally forgot that was a thing until I got going. And then I was like, you know, wasn't that different? I think it didn't hurt anyone here because the red tires, you have to do it on one lap, especially when they're used. You got one lap to go out and hit it. So a lot of, you know, everyone went out. Most people, I think everyone went out, did both their red sets. I did, and did one lap apiece. So I think the time probably didn't change much. You know, it's probably good it was condensed. Most guys normally wait, so now it's taken away some of that waiting period, which is good. But from a performance standpoint or a lineup standpoint, I don't think it changed anything result-wise today.
Anybody else? Any thoughts on that?
I think it needed to be 10 minutes on the street courses, so you have people do 2 runs to make it more interesting. But like Joseph said, it's just here it's just one lap, but you have these tracks where you can do, you know, 3 laps or 4 laps and then come in and go again. I think it makes it more interesting if there's a red flag or something. But yeah, it is what it is.
Mary?